Good Wednesday. Yes, should it be Wednesday? Yes, because I did Thankful Tuesday yesterday. Good Wednesday morning, everybody. It's Cheryl with Yarn and Hook, Boltz Bagz. Hello, hello, hello. In the vehicle yet again, and get this, headed back to the urologist. Let me tell you why. You're going to poop your pants. So, what was it? A week ago, right? I go to the urologist. He says, I have high, Chucky says enzymes. I never did do the vlog on the way back because, well, I went into a bad rant and I got a little off the hook, chain, rails, whatever, and I couldn't put my video up. So I apologize for cutting off like that. But I went off the deep end on a rant. So I just couldn't post the video. Anyway, I just shot tea on my face. My enzymes are highly elevated. Chucky says they're enzymes. I don't think that's the word. I don't know. But anyway, you're supposed to have them in your urine. Mine are like sky high, which indicates bacteria/infection. And it also told him that I'm not on the right antibiotic. So he's going to send my pee for the culture, which was a Friday when I went. So obviously he says to me, just hang in there till the weekend. And I thought I had like 3 days worth of my Cipro from my primary doctor left. And he says, just hang in there for the weekend. I'm like, oh, please. I don't want to start burning again, and I do have a slight burn yet. And he said, well, let me give you, it was the prescription equivalent of Azo. So he gives me that, and I had some burden over the weekend, but what I realized was I had no Cipro left. I was wrong. So by Sunday, I was burning by Monday or Tuesday, I started burning like a booger, because by Saturday, it had to be, my days are getting nutsed up. Within a couple days, I started burning because I didn't have enough left to carry me through. I was out of Cipro. I was wrong. I didn't have enough Cipro. So Wednesday rolled around and I called and I'm like, nobody got back with me about what results that culture was. Blah, 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 blah. And the lady says to me, well, what's your date of birth? I give it to her. She looks at my chart. She says, I don't have anything here that you were getting a culture sent out. And I said, well, yeah, I actually was, because I was standing right there. She said, no, it's not in your chart. I said, I was to get a culture sent out. I was standing right there when Dr. Dussinger said, Cheryl doesn't need a return, but we're sending her urine out for a culture and to see what antibiotics she needs, and then we're going to get her hooked up on that. And she said, okay, well, I'll get a message to him, but he's back with patients, blah, blah, blah. And I said, listen, is he going to call me back today? And she said, well, I can't tell you that. I said, okay, listen. And she was getting snotty with me because it wasn't in my chart, and I think she was thinking I was just saying stuff. I don't know. And I said, listen, y'all dropped the ball here. I said, this is my 5th, 6th week of burning like a booger with this, whatever the heck it is. And I said, I don't expect you to pull him out of a room of patients, but in between a patient, I would like him nabbed and explain the situation, and I want a return call, like immediately. Well, I'll get the message to him, I said, I want a return call, and I mean it. Well, I lay down because I was burning, and I mean I was burning. So later on that day, I got a call from the drugstore. He called an antibiotic in. He put me on Augmentin. So the next day she called me, and she said that indeed my culture was to be sent off. And I'm like, no shit, Sherlock. And he said that he doesn't know what happened. And I was nice to her. I said, well, I get things can happen, but now what? She said, well, you have to come back and give another urine sample for a culture. I'm like, oh, for the love of all that is holy. So here I am on my way back to go pee in a cup for them. So I don't know you all, but I am on like what, the 6th week of this nonsense, and it has set me back a month and a half of my work production. I do not wish this on anyone on this planet. I could not hate you enough to wish this on you. I have never in my life endured anything like this. This is just holy hell in a handbag. So that's where that's at. And I do want to apologize. I don't even know if I welcomed everybody. I just went right into my spiel. So welcome to everybody that's here. If you're new and you just happen upon me, I hope that didn't deter you. I do. And if you're returning, hi. Thanks so much for being here again. Oh gosh, I'm so sorry I haven't been on here. That's why. I mean, I know that I've been like, I guess it was once a week at least I was coming on here. Once every 2 weeks, but this has been really bad. And I have been crocheting. Man, have I been crocheting. And finally, I'm getting my bags done. I have one more bag to do on my custom order. And well, Alicia's, I have 2 more to go, and then her new custom order. So I'm banging them out pretty good, and I have them to show when I get back. Yeah, and I finally made my wallets. Oh my God, they're not kidding with that pattern. It's addictive. I want to make 25 million of them. I don't even need to look at the pattern anymore. They're so easy. Cut it and go. Oh my God, I love making them. Can't believe how I love making them. They are so awesome, and they turn out to die for. Once I figured out where exactly to put the closure, that's the tricky part. The closure is the tricky part. Once you figure that out, you got it made. I ruined a couple and had to rig up a couple, like fix them different. I gotta shut this. I can't believe I need a little AC. It's warm today. The kids woke me up panting like fools, and I'm like, oh, stop. Yeah, no wonder. It was quite warm in the house. And last night it was cold. I had on the, hold on a minute. I had on the, no, I had the windows open. And the day, Sunday, you couldn't even have the windows open. It was freezing in the house. All right, so that's that with the health saga. Nothing more I can tell you till I get a culture. Look at that alfalfa head. Nothing more I can tell you till I get a culture and we find out what's up. Anybody who's a friend of Shelly Sassy Stitches, wish her a happy birthday today. She's the big 5'2". Woo-woo! Happy birthday, Shelly Belly. We love you, girl. And that brings me to, let's talk about the community a little bit. There has been, I've been keeping my mouth shut for a while, and I need to say something. I'm not shutting up today. I need to say a few things, and I'm going to. There's been some people out there. This I'm not going to mention because it's just so many of them, and some of them that are doing this, it just blows my mind. Even hinting at it, it's tacky. This begging for stuff, hinting that you want stuff, what is going on? What happened to pride? I mean, I know people that have nothing that wouldn't take a dime off somebody. And then I see, and I'm not even talking about our community. I'm talking about all over the internet. Facebook, GoFundMe's for the stupidest stuff I've ever seen. And I'm sitting there with my mouth to the ground. Like, are you serious? What is wrong with people? I mean, I don't even understand what is going on here. And then this nonsense that just happened with Billy, and this person scamming people with, oh, I have cancer, oh, my house got destroyed in a hurricane, and all this other nonsense. How do you lay your head down at night? honest to flipping God, how do you sleep at night? I am a person that, I'm just going to say something. When last year around this time, around this time, on the 27th of this month, my mom, it'll be a year that she had her stroke. And every day up until that point, because from there on, I was in the hospital with my mom every day. I was crying to Billy. We were behind 2 vehicle payments. We were behind 3 or 4 rent. We were behind on our cable, our internet. We were behind on it all. It was a bad situation. Billy offered every day, I'll pay, I'll give you the money, blah, 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 blah. Billy will tell you. And I kept saying no. And then she was like, well, I'm just going to PayPal you. I said, do not do that. You're going to make me so mad at you. And I would not take a dime off Billy. And trust me when I tell you, we needed that money. Well, we would go down and we would help my mom. And she would give us like $40-50 for gas or whatever. And we wouldn't want to take it. And again, we needed that money. And she'd be like, she'd get mad, and we didn't want to upset her. She wasn't sick at the time, but she, 89 years old, you don't want to upset an 89-year-old woman. So she'd get like, take this, goddammit, Sherilyn. And I'd be like, okay, Mom, okay. So we'd go over to the Dollar General and we'd stock her up on Gatorade Zero, Powerade Zero, her cookies that she liked and stuff, her sugar-free stuff. And we'd stack her up on all that. She needed a bar for something. We bought her all that stuff plus money we didn't have. We added to it and stocked her up on stuff she needed. I got her shelf liner stuff to fix stuff in her kitchen. I got her extra stuff for her extra tea towels and stuff for in the kitchen. Sadly, that she never got to use, because it wasn't long after that she had the stroke and never did wind up in her kitchen because she couldn't leave the living room with the ulcer on the bottom of her foot. I wouldn't even take the money off my mom for the gas to go. And I'm telling you, when I say we were scraping bottom, robbing Peter to pay Paul, and behind on bills, and I'm bawling and carrying on, not knowing, we were in trouble. And I would not take a penny off my own mother. What the hell is wrong with people? Can you explain this to me? Where do these people's morals, decency, and I'm confused. I lived in poverty, literal poverty. By the time I paid my trailer payment, my lot rent, and a few basic bills, I had zero to buy food. If it wasn't for my mother, that this was the only thing she did for me, I would not have had food in my cupboard. And that she just did. She even did that when I lived down here. She was always bargain shopping Annie, and she would go and get the stuff, and she would stock Ed and me, the neighborhood. This was just who my mom was. But I never even borrowed $5 off my mother for gas. I would never, unless we were somewhere and I said, Mom, as soon as I get home, I'll pull it out my account or whatever, before I had like a bank card and that. I never even borrowed $5 off my own mother. No. I do not understand what goes through people's brains. I do not. I find it despicable. Despicable. And you could think anything you want of me, but I've been down at the depths where I'm going, holy, what am I going to do? And I figured it out. Did I ever borrow money? Absolutely. But I borrowed money. I didn't go on a platform and beg strangers for money. I didn't lie to people. I didn't cheat people. I didn't scam people. And I sure as flip did not get on and deceive. Well, I just said that. I have to lay my head on my pillow at night, and I have to wake up in the morning and face myself. And if I die when I lay my head on that pillow, or if I'm driving this vehicle and God takes me today, I know that when I face him, I can face him with a clear conscience, and I'm going to Goosey, my pappy, and my children waiting on me in heaven. And I know that beyond a shadow of a doubt. I have nothing to answer for. Nothing. Nothing. Well, I lie. I take his name in vain sometimes, and I'm so sorry for that. I don't mean to curse him. It's just something I say, but I know I got to answer for that. And I am so sorry, dear Lord Jesus, I am. I do that. I'm guilty of that. And I've got to face for that. I do. That I do have to answer for. And I did have an affair with my first husband. Yes, I did. As long as we're confessing, let's confess. I've got to answer for that. Yes, I do. So, there you go. That's what I've done in almost 50 years of life that I've got to atone for. So there you have it. My goose was a wonderful, perfect, beautiful soul. And I am the product of what she raised. And I would have rather chopped my own limbs off and tortured myself than made that woman ashamed or cry. I couldn't bear the thought of my being the reason she shed a tear or had any shame. I wouldn't do it to her. I loved her too much. So and another thing, Billy was 100% right to put that person's name out there and in her title. If it's the truth, don't say someone did this and then turned around and bought a bunch of stuff or had a giveaway. Say their name. You're obligated to the community and to the people that follow you. I wouldn't, if Billy did it, I wouldn't say, well, I gave somebody such and such and such, and then they turned around. No, I'd say, Billy said she needed something. I gave it to her, and then she turned around and did this. So if Billy goes to say that to you, she's a liar. Oh, I would definitely say it on my video, so you didn't get scammed. Oh, yes, I would. But Billy would never do that. I'm just using my BFFW as an example because Billy is a wonderful soul, inside out, upside down. Just like Shelly too. She hates, she calls it poor mouthing. She despises that. Shelly will tell you too. But my BFFW, it was just an example. She is the epitome of good, kind, and everything that is wonderful. And it's a damn shame that she was targeted because she's our matriarch, and she is the one that has the outreach, and she is the one that would be the first to jump and go to someone's aid. That's why Billy was targeted. It's disgusting. But I'm not keeping my mouth shut. This nonsense of, oh, I wish I could afford that yarn. Well, if you can't afford it, then you can't afford it. I wish I could afford a Mercedes, but I don't have one and I ain't asking for one. I don't get it. I don't get it. And no, I really don't wish I could afford a Mercedes. I don't want a Mercedes. I don't get into clout. I'm a cheap ass. I have a lot of clothes. And I'll tell you how I got a lot of clothes. I shop clearance, baby. I'll tell you how I have a lot of yarn. I shop clearance, baby. I'm cheap. I look for bargains. My mother was bargain shopping Annie and taught me the way to get the clearance deals and the best deals. I'm cheap. That's how I have what I have, because I know how to shop. And I wouldn't buy a Mercedes. I don't need top of the line anything to make me feel like I'm something. I feel like I'm something because I know what I got inside my heart and my mind, and I know my worth. And I know what kind of person I am when I lay my head on my pillow at night. And I can look everybody, including my Lord God and Jesus Christ in the face and know that I've done right at the end of the day. That's what makes me somebody. That's what makes me something. Not what I have on my ass or what I have under my wheels or above my wheels. Sorry. And just like we could own a home easily. My mom always said to me, Cheryl Lynn, you'll never own a home because of them goddamn animals. And I'm only saying that because that's what my mom said. And I said, you're right, Mom. But I would rather have them than a brand new home any day of the week. It's a trade-off. They're expensive. I won't deny it. But I wouldn't give them up for a brand new home every day of the week. I'm sorry. They are what makes my heart sing, skip, and jump. Not a home or, yeah, it'd be nice to have a mortgage. It'd be great. But right now is not the time. We just haven't had that opportunity. Can't save any money for a freaking down payment because it's always something with the kids. I just had a scare with Bear. It's just the way it is. But let me tell you what, I work and I work hard. I'm not out there begging anybody. Oh, I just had a scare with my cat. Please go fund me, pay my vet bill. Oh, no, 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 no. You will never hear that. Ever. But I will say this. If you ever do hear me beg, it will be for them, not for myself. That I will tell you. Like if one of my kids needed a major surgery and I had to come up with the money, you bet your sweet bottom dollar I'd be on here begging. Yes, I would. Then all scruples go out the window. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely, I would do it for that. No holds barred. Yes, I would. No shame in my game. At that point, I'm not. It's a totally different ball game. At that point, it's different. It is, and I'm not being hypocritical. It's different. It's an emergency. Who the hell would have, like I know one of our friends, he remortgaged his home to get his, what did he have? Shih Tzus. A $12,000 surgery. We don't have a home to remortgage, or I would. Chucky said we would, and I said, yes, we would, or you'd be out looking in. It's that simple. Yes, we would. Okay, I'm at the docks. I gotta go do this pee-pee test. I don't know why I keep saying pee-pee test. I don't want to park here. I feel like I can't get out. My Jeep is a beast. I do love my Jeep though. I'll go there. That way I can just back out. I'm an SUV mama. All right. Friends, Romans, countrymen. That was a poem we had to do in English class. I can remember the first lines. Friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me your ears. That's it. And you know what? When we had to memorize them poems, you know when I did them? Right before my class. And I always got them. Maybe I missed a line or two, but I did good. I can't memorize stuff like I had to do it right then and it was fresh in my brain. Weird, eh? All right, my friends, I must go in. Chucky got these at work. I keep telling him to bring me some home. They're pretty nice. I want to bling them up, put stuff on them, and make a blingy bling. He wore this one. It smells like him. He's lucky he's my husband. All right, guys, I'll be back. See you soon. It was a cry day, but it wasn't a bad cry. I shed tears. But I miss her immensely. I miss her so much. But I know that I'm going to be with her again. No doubt in my mind. I will see her and my grandfather and my babies in heaven again. No doubt about it. I did the right thing. I did right by her. I have respected everything she's wanted. I continue to do exactly what she's wanted. I'll never stop doing what she wanted. As long as I'm capable. And I kept every promise I made to her. And what she said went. She said, I the boss. You listen to me. When I said, Mom, we cannot go back to that house. We go Williamtown. Oh, Lord have mercy. After rehab, Williamtown. Okay. I couldn't convince her that we could not go back to that house. And I was sure we were leaving rehab and going somewhere. She just passed out of nowhere. That came out of nowhere. And even the rehab people were like, it was a shock. It was just a shock. She was doing so good. Everybody was in shock. Everybody. Even the doctor down in rehab, he came up to pay his respects and say goodbye to her. That made me cry. They all loved her so much. She was a pistol. I'm at my mailbox. I don't think the mail went yet, but I'm going to check. Nope. Alright guys, I'm going to cut this one off. I got to go in and feed my boopsies. Get back to the sewing machine. Finish Crystal's last bag, and then her order is complete. I'm going to be doing shipping this week. Oh, I'm tired. I was up 2 days, I guess, working on bags. I wanted to get done. I wanted to get cracking. And then I only got a nap in, and then I was right back on the machine. But I'm glad I did. I got a lot done. But now I'm like exhausted, you know. Whew, excuse my yawn. So for now, I'm going to bid you adieu. I'm going to say thank you so much for being here. If you haven't already, please do take a moment and subscribe. Click the notification bell so you'll be notified each and every time I upload. And please give me a thumbs up if you like my content. Later on, I'll be coming on with a bunch of sweaters I made weeks ago. Bunch of fall sweaters. Wait till you see them. Something different that I normally make. I made a beautiful blanket. Oh my God, did I make a gorgeous blanket. I made some baby things for Lauren. She has a sewing channel. She actually put them on her video. I guess I could direct you to that if you want to see those. Because I didn't take any pictures or nothing. She already received them, obviously. And, of course, my sewing that I'm doing. My eye itches. What else? I'm in the middle of Billy's cardigan. I think I made 6 sweaters for myself. I think. Sounds about right. I just zipped them out in like a week and a half. And then my blanket took me, I don't know, 4 days crocheting on it. Here and there. It's gorgeous. Can't wait to show you that. It's to die for. It's huge. Probably fit a king-size bed. My kids are in there barking and carrying on. It's so funny. They're like, Mom, get your butt in here. Think about my mom and I get like, is melancholy the word? I don't know the word. don't know the word. Stuff. Yeah, gotta go. Thinking about my mother. Okay, guys, I love you all so much. Thank you for being here, being part of my channel, part of my family, always supporting me. I'm getting back in the swing. Hopefully they find out what this thing is and get the culture right and get me fixed up, because this is just nutsiness. I can't stay on antibiotics. I'm on antibiotics for 6 weeks, guys. That's not good. But the minute I'm not on antibiotics, I'm burning like a mother's brother. And that's unbelievable pain. Imagine a blowtorch on your crotch. Not fun. And I'm not talking only when I go to the bathroom. I'm talking non-stop. Wonder why I didn't have anything done? Oh my God. And my tailbone hurts because I would like sit back. Like I couldn't sit normal because that put pressure. You'd have to sit to imagine what I'm trying to say. And that made it hurt and burn more. So I'd have to like sit back so there was no pressure at my front. I'm trying to be decent in how I say this. Just picture in your mind. Look, I always have this in my vehicle. It's my mom's Ruth. I should put it on a chain and hang it here. I have things of my mom all over. Trinkets of my mother all over with me. My mom's wedding band on my finger. Because I can't wear my own wedding band, so I wear my mom's wedding band. Yeah. My wedding band's way too big. It'd go flying. This is like a 6, 7, 6.5, 7. Probably a 6.5 because it's a little snug. 6 maybe. Mine's like a 10 because I was pretty fat. I move my hand and mine goes zing. No fun. Anyway, it's 2 o'clock. My children usually eat by no later than 1:30, so I'm a half an hour late feeding my boopsie floopsies. So I'm going to get in there and feed my boobies. And I got one more bag to sew on this order, and then I will show you my custom orders completed. I have one bag that's for sale. That's actually a set. And then I have a bag and a wallet to sew for Billy's sister, and then another bag cut that will be for sale. And then I have one to sew for Wendy. She's been asking for Wendy. And I have gifts I want to make for Virginia. So, yeah. Just some things to do. I have some shipping to do. I did giveaways on my group. It's all ready. I just got to package it and get it out. I see Gina just messaged me her address. I was waiting on that. So I got to get that taken care of. I should get that out tomorrow. I have Kathy's stuff all done. That can go. I got the edge coat for hers. I'm just rambling now. I got to go. Love you. Bid you adieu. Bye. Oh, that's that. 5 days for a culture. Hockalooey. I asked them to please call in another script for my antibiotic, because when I didn't have, I immediately started burning. And I simply cannot go through that again. So I need to get better because I have a trip to take that I'm pretty excited about. I wasn't excited. Don't get hurt, Wendy. Don't. But I wasn't excited, but now I'm getting really excited. I'm very happy to be going. And I only wasn't excited because I'm a homebody. Anybody that knows me knows I like to be at home. I hate to leave my house. I hate it. And I'm not used to being away from home. Now, when I was with my mother, my mom was home. No matter where I was with my mom, I was home. My mom was everything. And my focus was my mother. So I didn't miss home because I was so focused on my mom and what my mom needed that, I mean, I thought of them, I missed them, but I didn't think of them. Does that make any sense? I didn't have time to miss them or think about them. I was so focused on my mother and what she needed that I didn't have time for all that. I just didn't. I was worried about my mom. That is it. And honestly, at that time, I didn't have time to stop and think. I had to go. All I could do was take care of her and take one day at a time. And I was up and down constantly. I did more. I mean, I didn't do the lifting her and all that stuff. But buddy, what the hell are you doing, you fool? I didn't do the lifting her and that because I couldn't. I wasn't capable. It took a couple of them to do that at that point. And I didn't want to butt in and hurt her because I didn't know the proper way to do that. But like when it came to feeding her and things like that, she did not want them to do anything. She wanted me. She told them I'm her nurse, not them. So she didn't want them to do anything like that with her. And I was up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. And I went to every physical therapy with her, every speech therapy. I was there through it all. I didn't work. She did the work, but I mean, I was with her through it all. And when she was in the the Harrisburg hospital, I was awake all those hours. I got very little sleep because when she would finally sleep, I would watch her. And I would nod off here and there, but it was very rare. And when I wasn't, like, if I would nod off and she would wake up, she'd go, Erlyn! And she'd go like this. She'd want me to crochet. Because if you all remember, she had me making blankets for all the nurses. Oh, my mama. God love her. I miss her so much. You all have no idea. She was everything. She was the beautifulest, brightest light in my life. And I'll tell y'all something. She was my best friend. There wasn't a thing that I didn't tell her. She knew how many times I farted a day, literally. She was it. And it's so hard. It is so hard. We talk at least 2 to 3 times a day. It's so hard. And I see stuff now, or I make stuff now, like my bags I'm making. It breaks my heart that I can't make her a special bag. Because I see a design and I'm like, oh my God, that's perfect for my mom. She would love this leather. Oh my, it just breaks my heart. It breaks my freaking heart. It just breaks my heart. But almost a year later, I still cry, but I found a way to smile through the pain. That I can remember there was so much good that the only pain was losing her. And that says a lot. And then I think God loved her and God saved her, because had she been here through this pandemic, this would have done her in, because she could not have stood this, especially when the toilet paper and the food thing happened, and the not being able to go out your door, and the shut in, and she would have lost her mind. She would have lost her. It would have been, oh my God, you would not have even, Katie and I both said, oh my God, what she would have went through would have been horrendous. I mean, to even think of the torture that she would have endured through that would have just been horrible, horrible, horrible. I don't even want to think of what it would have been like for her. So, I have a state cop behind me. I don't like that at all. And I'm going the speed limit, but still, I don't like it. Yeah, it's rough when I think about that. And I'm great. I'm not, I mean, he took her at the right time, is all I'm saying. Because she couldn't have endured what we have gone through this 2020. She couldn't have gone through this. Honest to God, she couldn't have. My mom wasn't that strong. Bye-bye, copper. Turn at the church. There's a big yard sale. I don't do yard sales anymore. I have so much stuff, guys. I have nowhere to go with it. I need to have 25 yard sales. And I still didn't get everything out of Mama's house. So yeah, I let go of all the anger. That took some time. I dealt with that demon. That demon has been excised. That took me some time. But a very good friend said something that just hit home, man. It just, I knew it, I just had to hear it. And it was like, holy hell. It just put it all into perspective. And I was like, wow. That was the end of that. I never gave it another thought. Well, I give it thought here and there, but it doesn't plague my everyday like it used to. So, it's a beautiful day today. Beautiful day. Wendy says the weather's going to be gorgeous when we're in Virginia. Looking forward to that. I got a bunch of new clothes. I was going to do a fashion show. I still may. I don't know. My house ain't equipped to do a fashion show. My patio door, okay. My big patio doors let all this sun in, so it's glaring and you can't really see behind me. So it's like, you can't see me right. And I have no way to block that off. And then at night, I don't know. And my sewing room, if I go back there, there's really no room for me to step back and show you my entire ensemble. And then if I put like all my black on, then I got the kids running all up on me, and then they get my stuff full of hair. Ugh. I really don't have anywhere to go that I can do what I want to do in my home. And to put clothes on and off and run in and out the door, well, I need Chucky to help me and I ain't listening to him carry on at me. Plus, I ain't one for posing. I mean, I do it for Billy because I act silly. But I ain't one for posing and whatever. But I will tell you this. I've been ordering off of Timberbrook, Perfectly Priscilla, and Deep South Pout. And they have phenomenal clothing. The quality is top notch. The fit is, oh my God. I have never bought clothing that fits so perfect in all of my life. I can't even believe it. I'm floored. I should do a review on those companies because they're outstanding. I should do that. So I hope everybody understands where I was coming from with my little rant about this begging stuff. It just disgusts me. I'm sorry, but it disgusts me. I've been watching it and seeing it, and I roll my eyes, and it's just, I don't even get it. Oh God, I would never. And another thing, I don't always show the stuff I get. Like, for a while there, I was buying a lot of yarn, and I never paid more than $3 for a skein of my Red Heart Ombre because, again, I know how to shop. $3 for my mandala. Again, I know how to shop. Some of it was only $1. But I would get a lot. When I would find it like that, I would buy every that I could. So I have tons and tons of yarn, but I have good yarn. And then there was others that I would find, and I would get it at good deals. But I didn't come on and I didn't show you all my yarn hauls because there was times that I would have 5 and 6 boxes full of yarn in one shot. And I just felt like it's bragging. I don't like to do that because I know there's a lot of people out there that can't afford it. Whether it was clearance or not, I feel bad doing that. So I decided that it wasn't something I wanted to do. It's obvious that I have a lot of yarn. I don't feel the need to go showing it all off to everybody. I'm not a bragger. I'm not oh, looky what I got. I don't need to do that. It's the same thing. I don't need to do that and rub things in. And it's not that people do, I'm not saying people do that. I'm not. Don't take that wrong. What I'm saying is, I felt that, I mean, I could see if you're getting some different yarn or a new color of yarn, or there's a fantastic sale where there's lots of it. But I was buying stuff out when I would find it. So why would I show you? You can't get it. So what's the purpose of doing that? Like when Crystal does it, she always shares the sales, or Penny, she always shares the sales with everybody. That's great. Then absolutely do it. But I wouldn't have done that. I was buying it out so I would have it. I don't understand what the purpose of people coming on and doing one haul after another. And then you got these people that have all this yarn, and then they enter giveaway after giveaway. Why would you do that? I would never enter a giveaway. I have enough that I can give it. I don't understand the need to enter giveaways. That to me is greed at its finest. Call me judgmental, call me whatever. There's certain things I can't stomach. I can't stand greed. I can't stand liars. I can't stand thieves. I can't stomach them. I can't stand cheaters. greed is up there. Greed is something I can't, that's one of the 7 deadly sins, right? I give anybody the shirt off my back. That's how I am. Done it many times. Not literally, but just about. I was telling Billy something last night, and I want you to think about this. I had 6 cats at the time, 5 dogs, 2 of which were puppies we just rescued. They were 5.5 months old. They were getting spayed and neutered that day. And at that moment, with that spay and neuter, my bill at the vet would have been $900 with that spay, neuter, chip, and total bill, plus what I already owed. And Dr. Rhodes happily gave Molly to me that day and left me be her mother. I want you to think about that. He's the man I owed the money to. He's the man that is the vet to this day of all of my kids. And he's the man who knew and knows what I have. If I wasn't the person I was and didn't sacrifice, do you think he would have given Molly to me? And I don't know if anybody knows the story of Molly, so I'll tell you why I said this. Molly, he does, I forget who he does it for, but he has to go out on random farm calls. We are in backyard breeder territory. Amish Mennonite country. So he was on a farm call, and not a farm call, it's not called the farm call. It's I forget what it's called. And this litter, German Shepherds, purebreds, was there. And the one pup, they were at weaning time, and the one pup kept regurgitating. And the breeder's like, I don't know what is going on with this pup, but she's not keeping her food down. And Dr. Rhodes said, well, it looks like it's right aortic valve. I think that's what it's called. It's the precursor to megaesophagus. Megaesophagus is where it doesn't go down their throat. And they basically have to sit up to eat. They have to have it like a slurry. Their lives they don't live long. It's very traumatic for a dog that has this. It's not a good thing. He explained it to the breeder. The breeder basically told him flat out, well, if she's not going to make me money and going to cost me money, she's no good to me. And Dr. Rhodes is like, she's a really nice pup. That's a shame. He said, she deserves a chance at life. And he's like, well, I'm getting rid of her. And Dr. Rhodes is like mortified. And he's like, oh, please don't do that. And he's like, well, if you want her, take her, because I'm going to get rid of her. So Dr. Rhodes took her. And he gave her the surgery to save her life. And she was about 11 weeks old when we took Gunn and Dixon to get their spay and neuter. And I heard this pup crying in the back when Gunner went back. And I'm like, that's not Gunner. And Wanda said, no, that's Yuri. And I said, what the is a Yuri? And she said, well, hold on a minute. And it's funny because right before then I said, he owes me a German Shepherd pup. Because Gunn and Dix were hanging on him. And I said, look at this bullshit. We rescued them from a yard sale. They were not planned. We were at a yard sale, squalor conditions. And we rescued Gunn and Dix from that yard sale. It was disgusting. They were 7 weeks old. They were not planned. They were rescued. And so was their brother. My good friend from school has their brother, Juki. Anyway, she says, hold on. And I said, he owes me a German Shepherd pup. And I mean it. He's going to give and get me my German Shepherd pup. Because he owes me. Oh, no more dogs, blah, blah, blah. So about 20 minutes later, they take back because we're standing there shooting shit. She says, hold on, I'll show you Yuri. She comes out with this little tiny puppy, cone on its head, sweater on its body, and I'm like, oh my God. I start petting this puppy, and it's like skin on bones, and I'm like, oh my effing God, what is wrong with this pup? And she starts telling me the story, and I'm bawling my heart out, and she says she needs a home, and I said, oh my God, she has a home. And Chucky's like, no more dogs, no more dogs. Wanda smiles at me and takes the cone off this dog's head, and when I looked at its face and I saw German Shepherd, I almost fell on the floor, and I said, it's a German Shepherd. It was all over but the flipping crying. So of course he's no, and I'm yes. And as we're going out the door, I said, tell Dr. Rhodes I want her. And I heard Wanda scream, yes! And all the way to PetSmart, we had to go pick up food that I ordered online to pick up on PetSmart. We're not getting another dog, and that's the end of it. I'm like, whatever. The only way I'm not bringing this dog home, this baby home, is if Dr. Rhodes says no, and he's not going to say no to me. I'm telling you here and now, he ain't going to say no to me. Oh, yes, he will. We just got 2 new puppies. There is no way. I said, whatever. You say whatever you want. I know Dr. Rhodes, and I know what he thinks of me, and you're going to lose. So he stays in the car while I go into PetSmart, and I'm in there. Finally he comes in, and there I stand, caught red-handed. I have a pretty pink bed. I have a pretty pink harness with a bow. I have a new sweater. I have a nice new pink leash. And he's like, what the F? I'm getting Yuri presents. The hell you are! And he starts yelling at me in PetSmart. And I said, just go back out in the car and go to sleep. So we go home, and I start cleaning the house, getting it all puppy-proofed, waiting on them to call for to go get Gunner and Dixie. And Dr. Rhodes, well, he didn't call. I said to Joanne when she called and said they're ready, I said, and the puppy? She said, what puppy? And then I start telling her. She said, I wasn't even aware of this. Hold on a minute. She said something to Dr. Rhodes, and Dr. Rhodes gets on the phone, and he said, or I lied. She said, Dr. Rhodes is going to call you. So about 10 minutes later, the phone rings, and he's all like chipper, and he says, I hear you're interested in a certain little baby. And I said, oh, but I am. And he says, well, let's talk. And he explains to me how she has to be elevated to eat. And I start asking a few questions. And he tells me that it's going to take a while for her to catch up. I got to feed her every 2 hours. And I mean, Molly was a lot of work. Molly had a very, very rough first year. Molly was a round-the-clock job, okay? And Molly needed someone that had round-the-clock time to give to her. And not only was he very glad it was me that was getting her, because he said she couldn't have got better than if she was with him. And she was special to him because he was taking her home every night. And I still to this day think that if they're Ruthie, they just had a baby girl. I think if their Ruthie wouldn't have been born and they weren't, didn't have an infant newborn, Molly might have been their dog. I really do believe that. Molly, to this day, that's Daddy Dr. Rhodes. Molly will always have a special place in Dr. Rhodes' heart. So for him to allow me to adopt her and be her mother says everything you need to know about what Dr. Rhodes thinks of me. He had zero hesitation. We went that morning, not knowing Molly existed, took Gunner and Dixie to get spayed and neutered at 5.5 months old, and came home that day with 5.5-month-old Gunner and Dixie and 11.5-week-old Molly. I raised 3 puppies at the exact same time. Oh, the fun. So I still call them the puppies. So when I refer to the puppies, I mean Gunner, Dixie, and Molly, because they're only a couple months apart. So we had the 3 older ones, Madeline, Grace, and Ben, and then we had the 3 puppies. So we had 6 until we lost Madeline. It'll be 2 years in January that Madeline's gone. But that tells you exactly what Dr. Rhodes thinks of me. So if my vet, and he was like, he just was all smiles when I came with those puppies. Because he knows that if I had my way, I would rescue everything out there. I would not even stop. And that's what I'm saying. We've made a choice. Sure, we could own a home, but we don't have the money to put back to cushion that for a mortgage and everything else if something goes wrong with our kids, because our kids are always going to come first, and that's just the way life goes. And my mom always said, you're never going to own a home because you choose those animals. That's correct. That's correct. And I could go out probably and get a full-time job, and that would work, but then my kids are alone, and that's not good for them. That I'm a nervous wreck going to Virginia, I'm going to be honest with you. They're not, I just left, they're going to be ape shit crazy for the next 2 hours because I left them. And I'm only gone, I left at 12:30, it's 1:49. They're going to be acting like a bunch of buffoons for the next couple hours because Mama left them for less than 2 hours. They're going to act like imbeciles. They can't handle it. And I dread this, but I have to. Wendy is very important to me. Billy is my BFFW, and I have never met her, and this is my chance to be there and meet Billy, and this is my chance to be there for a very good friend that needs her friends surrounding her at a very horrible time in her life. And this is the time when I lost my mom, and we need to be together. I think this is going to be a very good thing for all of us. So I'm grateful for this time. I mean, part of me's sad because I won't be with Chucky when that happened. That hurts a little bit, but because Chucky was really there for my mom and I. Chucky wiped my mom's. She had a bad cold, and she was snotting really bad for the first 3 days she was in there, and the snot just ran and ran and ran. We went through 5 boxes of tissues the night she was in the ER. It was terrible. And then the next day, we probably went through 10 boxes, and he kept so that the snot wasn't running on her. He wiped her nose. He picked boogies out of her nose. I mean, you should have saw him. He was amazing with her. He rubbed her back. He rubbed her shoulders. He was so good to her. He helped feed her when she could. I mean, at first she wasn't allowed to eat or drink by mouth because whatever happens when you have a stroke, her flap, that was torture. That was horrible, that poor thing. He was amazing with my mother. He gave up all his days off that he had to be there for her and me, mainly her. I'll never forget him and how he was with her. On his weekends off, he was down there busting his butt, helping clean that house. He loved my mom, and my mom loved him. No doubt, she told everybody how much she loved him. It feels good to be able to talk about my mom and smile. It really does. I cried too. Yesterday I said to Billy, I miss my mom so much, and I cried. But I also smile. I do both. Today's a smile day. Yesterday